Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here and welcome back to a neat little video here on the channel where I will be teaching you guys how you can make TV accurate ninja weapons. Of course, in front of you guys are the Ninjago Legacy TV show minifigures for all 6 of the ninja. We have Kai, Jay, Cole, Zane, Lloyd, and Nia in the back there with their weapons right now, and I will be going into a sort of an in-depth little string of details here to show you guys how you can make these for yourself. A lot of them are obviously easier than others to make, as some of them are just one piece, but we'll go ahead and take a look at each individual ninja, and I will be showing you screenshots from the show as well to sort of show you guys how accurate you can actually get in building these weapons. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so starting off with some of the easier ones in the bunch, of course, this is Legacy Kai with his TV show accurate weapon. Of course, they're just the regular, simple silver katana blades that you can pretty much find in pretty much every Ninjago set that's out there. Just bringing in a quick little comparison here. The ninja have had these weapons, these specific weapons, with them throughout the entirety of the Oni and Dragon trilogy. This includes seasons 8, 9, and 10. So naturally it would be the exact same version as his season 8 version. This was just what he had in the actual show itself. You can see just regular katanas. Of course, it's not coming across very well on camera, but you can see a little bit of red in there, in the blade, as well as in the actual area in which you grab the sword. There's a name for it, but I cannot remember it at this point in time. And obviously these traditional silver swords do not have that here. Just zooming in, you can see they're just silver. Of course, they do have a little bit of brand marking on there, but that's of course not by intentional design. But you could always go in there and paint around that. You could give these swords some sort of Ninjago flair to them. At this point, they really don't have them. Of course, you could just go in there again on your own and paint. I have not done that for obvious reasons. That is way too small of a place for me to actually go ahead and try to paint. But of course, for Kai, this is pretty much as good as you're going to get it for a TV accurate ninja weapon. Just 2 regular silver katana blades that you can easily get a hold of. And just real quick, I figured I'd bring in this comparison as well. I'll be doing this with all the rest of the ninja throughout this video, but I'm just comparing the TV show version to the movie version to show how close or how, apart they are. Of course, the TV show ninja, as of this point, are inspired by the movie ninja in terms of weaponry, and as you can see, just like the Legacy Kai figure that we have here, the TV show, or not the TV show, but the movie version of Kai is, of course, carrying the exact 2 same silver katana blades that you can pretty much get anywhere. Alright, now of course moving on to Jay. Jay's weapon is of course the Nunchucks. Those have been around since the early days of Ninjago when he had the golden Nunchucks of lightning. This pair though is anything but golden, and I thought I got a pretty close representation of Jay's Nunchucks from the actual show itself. When you compare the two, you can see I tried to mainly go for the black bit here. Well, it's not really black, it's gunmetal gray with the little hints of regular gray or silver on either end. And I think I got it pretty well, pretty spot on here. Just taking these apart real quick, or taking these off so I can show you how they're actually constructed and how they're actually built. If they can focus there in the camera. They're actually just regular studs with just a regular chain here, and these are actually gunmetal gray lightsaber hilt pieces that you'll get often in Star Wars sets if you collect those. Of course, they do come in Ninjago sets as well, and these make for actually a good set of nunchucks for our very good friend Jay here, as they look like they could do some damage. They're relatively strong in nature and by design. And just bringing in here Jay's movie counterpart so you can see the comparison between the movie weapon and the TV weapon. Of course, the movie weapon isn't a pair of nunchucks. It's actually, I believe this is called a flail. Still pretty intentional, or same intent there, giving Jay some type of chained weapon. Of course, it does not really translate over to the show in the exact same way, as I said earlier, but I do feel like this comparison is necessary, and I feel like the flail and the nunchucks are actually a good complementary piece on one another. And of course, for the actual nunchucks design themselves, they're pretty simple to do, and the parts that you need for them are actually not that rare of parts. So these ones are actually pretty simple to design as well. Of course, Cole's weapon here is relatively solid in terms of design, and it's actually carried over, from his previous weapon, the Scythe of Quakes. Of course, here we have the hammer that he's been using throughout the past couple of seasons. First picked it up in season 8, but initially it was adapted from the Ninjago movie Cole weapon, and just bringing that in here to show you that comparison here. We have the Legacy TV show seasons 8, 9, 10 version of Cole with the movie Cole. Of course, you can see how those hammers compare to one another. This is my custom one on the left, and on the right is the official hammer that Cole had received in the movie line. So as you can see, pretty similar in hammer aesthetics and whatnot. But of course, the TV show hammer is a little bit more complicated if you want to actually design this yourself. So just bringing in the hammer design real quick for a little bit of a comparison, you can see here, I tried to get it fairly accurate as I possibly could. I mean, there's a little bit of gold sprinkled throughout the hammer as well, such as on the bottom, as you can see, and in this sort of middle area. You could always do that with golden studs. You'll see a stud that I'm about to share with you in a second here. That's similar in design, but there's a certain stud. I'll just show you. It's too complicated to try to explain. This stud, if I can get it off, this stud right here has a hole in the center that you could, of course, line up with the holes in the actual design itself and sort of just sprinkle them out if you really would like to. I opted not to do that for my version of the hammer, but just showing you how this is built, it just uses a regular staff piece that Master Wu carries in gray. If that would focus, that'd be great. There we go. Just uses one of those, and of course, instead of attaching it up here, I opted to attach it right here. This is just a golden cone piece that you can pretty much get anywhere. I opted to not put it up here because I wanted to keep that little rigid detail down there. Then you bring in your stud, and that will go ahead and attach right at the top of that. It sort of plugs into that gray piece as well as just kind of sits on top of the golden cone piece as well. And then the hammer design is the exact same hammer base from the movie. You'll just attach that on there. And there you have it. That is how you can make the Cole hammer from the TV show, the one that's a little bit more TV show accurate as opposed to the ones that we've been getting in some of the sets. But yeah, you can see how Cole looks with that hammer there. I don't think he looks bad. I think he looks relatively decent like that. I like the design that it came up with the hammer. Of course, you can go ahead and add things yourself to make it a little more screen accurate, as that is possible, but I opted not to give it a sort of sleeker look and not have it look as clunky, because in the show, the hammer really doesn't look like that at all. When it comes to Zane's weapon, like Kai, is also quite simple as it's just one piece. This is a bow piece that comes in, I know it came in some of the Avengers sets from Age of Ultron, I don't know what else it comes in, but this bow itself is relatively, I guess, complicated in terms of its design. You can see many little ridges and gears in there, and Legacy Zane can just hold on to that quite simply like that, and that's as TV accurate as you're going to get for, in terms of a bow. He also comes with a little bit of a quiver on him, not the actual figure itself, as these new mask pieces have a hard time pretty much attaching anything to them. I did find out, though, that these black quivers will work. They'll fit very snugly, but they will work on the Legacy figures, and that's the best as you're going to get, in terms of armor. But bringing in a quick comparison here, talking about the bow, of course, the bow is relatively the same design as the show. You could also go ahead, if you want to make it even more accurate, like Kai's weapon, you could add some of your own paint, such as painting these little gears here, or I don't know what you would call those, but you could paint those silver. You could, of course, paint the arrow a different color. In terms of an actual design, though, in terms of, an actual solidified thing, this is as best as you're going to get without having to paint over anything. And just bringing in the TV show, or not the TV show, but the Ninjago movie version of Zane to compare those two, you can see that their bows are different by design. The one on the Legacy Zane here that I have, customized, heavy quotations around the word customized, you can see that one is a little bit more complex in terms of its design as opposed to the traditional movie style of bow here that came with Zane. Of course, both figures you can attach the quiver to on the back just to make the look feel a little more complete. And, talking about the bow as a concept for Zane's actual weapon, it is a big departure from the traditional TV show version of Zane, which traditionally came with some sort of shuriken, but I guess, a bow and arrow or a crossbow isn't that bad of a weapon choice for Zane, and if you wanted to create your own TV accurate movie version of Zane, this is as best as you're going to get. Alright, so Lloyd's weapon here isn't really that big of a departure from the movie version as well. Just bringing in the comparison right away here, we can see it's practically the exact same sword, except with a little bit of a change, on the bottom. The movie version of Lloyd opts to go with this little I don't know what you would call that little chain accessory thing going on down there. I did not give the TV show version of Lloyd the weapon like that. I decided to change it a little bit and make it a little bit more accurate to the show, because as you can see here in the show, he does not have that. He just sort of has a little, a little bit of a different attachment down there that's just flat and not, it's clearly not a chain. You can't actually tell, but that's supposed to be a green little layer or a green little wrapping around there at the bottom. I don't really have a stud piece in green like that. I'll show you how I made this sword right here. It's actually quite simple. It only has a few pieces on it. As you can see here, it just uses one of these round 1x1 tiles that's actually flat, and then of course this stud is another one with the hole in the center. Same one that I used for coal. Of course, with the hole in the center, you could actually go ahead and plug that in to this part of the sword relatively easily. And again, if you have that in green, I'd say use that instead of that. I do not have one in green, unfortunately, and it's actually attached the wrong way, upside down. You take the big end and you plug it into that like that. And again, if you have a green one, I'd recommend using it because the black, while it is, somewhat accurate, it could be even more accurate with a green version of this. I do not have a green version of this. That's why I'm using the black one. And then, of course, this piece just goes ahead and attaches onto there like so. And then you can bring your Lloyd Legacy figure over and attach that to that, like so. And that's pretty much how you can go ahead and create a TV accurate version of Lloyd's sword. Of course, it is different from the movie, and there is a better way of doing it, but with the pieces that I had, I was limited, so this is what I came up with, and in my opinion, this is quite good, and it's, pretty much as close as I can get to actually making a TV show accurate version of Lloyd's new sword. Nia's spear was quite complicated to make as well, and I think I got a pretty good design for it. I mean, bringing in the TV show comparison real quick, she's had the same spear since Season 8. You can see in the TV show it sort of just has that same design, kind of, sorta. I mean, if you squint, it kind of works. I mean, this is as accurate as I could get to the actual design. And of course, Nia's spear is her new weapon, thanks to the Ninjago movie. You can see a quick comparison between these two as well. This spear, believe it or not, is actually only 2 pieces, I believe. This long spear piece is just one, and it has the little chain attachment at the end, the same one that Lloyd's sword has, except in a different color. Nia's spear in the movie does not do that. Her spear, or in the TV show rather, her spear in the show is quite complicated, and I'll talk about how I built this right now. So the entire spear is based around this piece that's actually the base of a traditional flick-fire missile for Lego, and that's actually how I decided to build it. Then you'll take one of these silver round stud pieces, attach it to that. You basically just build it up as you go along. You'll take one of these lightsaber hilt pieces in black. I decided to use black. You'll attach that to that like so. You're going to want to go ahead and bring in this piece here, and then you can attach this fork piece into that, and it sort of creates a spear type look. There's actually a few alternative ways that you can go ahead and do this. If you opted to not have that stud up here, you could always flip this entire concept around and plug that into there like so, and then have the spear tip sit like that, and it kind of creates a little bit of a different look for it. You can basically do that whichever way you'd like. Again, the show really doesn't have any possible way that you can actually go ahead and build this with existing Lego pieces. The show really doesn't have a consistent way that you can actually make this, with real pieces from what I could figure out. I'm sure some of you guys could come up with a little bit of a better design for it, but in the meantime, that's all I got for Nia's spear. Of course, if you really wanted to make it accurate to this show, you could make it somehow collapsible, as it's been shown to do that in the show. It's shown to compress down and then actually fit on her back. So if you really wanted to try that, you could. I opted to not because, in my view, there's really no way that you could potentially pull that off. So this is pretty much what I came up with for a design for Nia's spear from the TV show. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. That was just a quick little video of me discussing how you can make TV show accurate ninja weapons. Of course, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys will be going ahead and actually building some of these for yourself, and let me know in the comment section if you found alternative ways of building these to make them even more accurate, or if you just had some custom ninja weapons that you wanted to share. Please feel free to describe those in the comments down below as well, and I look forward to reading and interacting with those as well, as I always traditionally do. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, as always, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up rating. And of course, remember to hit the subscribe button if you've not done so already. Once again, guys, the comment section is there for the various discussions that you would like to have regarding this topic. Or if you just had a comment of a general nature, that's fine as well. Thank you so very much for watching, guys. My name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.